Good afternoon, good evening from all the attendees from India and Malaysia and across the world. So this is our kind of aspirational meeting, which is a kind of a special meeting, which is book review marathon. In a way, we are trying to celebrate 100 years of Toastmaster Club and as our book club, Page Turner Advanced Toastmaster Club, in collaboration with Exalter's Miyapu Toastmaster Club, we are organizing this book review marathon, which is comprised of 10 book reviews. And so this concept was there in my mind since long time, maybe year back. Since year back, we were thinking and trying. And once we met excellent Toastmasters from Exalted Toastmaster Club, Miyapo Toastmaster Club, and this idea became a reality with their help and participation and contribution from them as well. So here I'm very glad to make this one of the unique kind of meeting, which is book review marathon, which was my dream meeting. And let us enjoy today the exploration of literature, where you can expand the today's recommended books and some learning from one of the best books. And today we'll be having a 10 book review. So this is a special meeting, unique meeting. Will There is no any other formality of routine Toastmaster Club is involved. But what we'll do one after another, in a way like what we do for table topic marathon, similar way, a little bit extended speech of book review of 10 books we'll be presenting one after another. And I'm glad that all the 10 book reviewers are there, and I'm excited to start this meeting. So I will request DTM Ramesh also to give brief opening remarks to kickstart this meeting, and then we can proceed with the meeting.
Yes, first of all, good day for all the Toastmasters from across the world, and especially from India and Indonesia. First of all, thank you very much for the Page Turners Toastmasters Advanced Toastmasters Club. The club itself is unique in the sense is that for the book lovers, it is going to be a great place. When I learnt about this club, along with the DTM Srilidhi, whom I was introduced, I was excited. Is because in our day-to-day activities, most of the people want to read the books. Again, we have so many other learning about the books and reading podcasts, listening to the podcasts. All of them are there. But listening from a Toastmaster perspective is altogether a different ballgame. I think everybody Toastmasters over here accept that because that's what this 100th years of Toastmasters is going to make us connected through the book loving sessions. And it's a great, unique idea which Toastmaster Jay has proposed, and along with Dr. Um, Maria to all of us. When that happened, we immediately jumped into this game and we want to collaborate with these ideas and with this Toastmasters Club so that everybody can take the leverage of the learnings from the learnings and experiences, knowledge and wisdom of the fellow Toastmasters. Thank you, and it's a great opportunity. Wish all of us a best session of this one. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmasters Jay.
Thank you, DTM Ramesh. So in today's meeting, there is a no even formality of having a Toastmaster of the day. So we will be introducing next speaker, and I have pasted agenda for today's meeting and which 10 book reviews we are going to do today on meeting chat. So first book review is a book called Indestructible, which is me. So I have unique opportunity to introduce myself. So let me introduce myself, Toastmaster Jai Sejpal. I am a doctor by profession. I work with Dr. Reddy's in pharmaceutical industry. I have experience of around 13 years of working with in pharmaceutical industry. After MBBS, I have done MD in pharmacology and joined the industry. So my main work involves strategic guidance and training to medical marketing team, and also running clinical trials and product evaluation for product development. So I come from a pharmaceutical background and medical background, and I am Toastmaster also since last about 2.5 years. So with that, I will start without further formalities. I will start my uh, today's book review. So my book is called Indestructible. Author is Neil Isle, and it is about being devoid of distraction, avoiding distraction in day-to-day life, which derail us from the things which we want in our life. So with that, I will ask you for permission to share my screen. Sharing the screen and presenting review will make it easier to uh, listen to and relate. So this book is by author called Neil Isle, Indestructible, and the subtitle of the book is How to Control Your Attention and Choose Your Life Over Distractions. So three major concepts I would like to share here, which I found very much relatable and which I could try to apply in my life. So first concept is called time boxing versus to-do list. So we know everybody about some of the tactics of productivity. So we have habit in our day-to-day work life or personal life. We have habit of putting out a to-do list. When we put out to-do list, we feel sometimes that to-do list is never ending. You finish two tasks and five new more tasks will keep coming on your way, and it is never ending exhausting to-do list. So however accurate you are, however proficient you are in making to-do list, toward the end of the day you will feel most of time discouraged that okay, even half of the thing you could not finish of to-do list, and it is keep on expanding. So rather than for day-to-day life, for measuring your productivity and efficiency, to do is one thing, but rather than doing a to do list, more efficient way, which was suggested by this author, was time boxing. So, what is time boxing? You have to dedicate your time box, like let's say half an hour of time box you are deciding, or whichever time box you are deciding, from starting of your day from 8 o'clock to let's say 6 to 8 in the evening, which will include all of your work, even some of your personal commitment, your health related tasks, or your if you want to do meditation, whatever personal things you want to do, it should be in the form of time box. You should say, let me allocate this much of time for work, this much of time for personal relation, this much of time for health. And in work also, depending on priority, you can again provide further time box that you can say that for project one, you will allocate 2 hours of day. Project second project, you will allocate uh, half an hour of day. For miscellaneous tasks, you will allocate 2 to 3 hours, whatever is your priority and whatever is your important task. Depending on that, you should prepare the time box at the beginning of the day. You should try to follow that time box, and toward the end of the day, you don't look at the to-do list that okay, out of this much of to-do list, how much I completed. That is not good parameter, because it we know that it always leads to frustration toward the end of the day, and pending to do list becoming more and more lengthy even at the end of the day. So rather than that, you have to measure your efficiency that out of time box you prepared, your calendar, daily calendar you prepared, how much of actual time you could allocate without distraction to all of your priority tasks and areas of your life. So he is suggesting to follow the time box. Another important thing is suggesting about noting down the distraction. We know that today's era is full of digital distraction. So even if you are immersed in a very important task which you are doing, any book reading you are doing, or anything, uh, today's digital era is not allowing you to immerse in the focus attention. What happens that there is one some notification on the social media app, and you keep visiting social media now every now and you never know that every time you open your mobile, you will end up wasting half an hour, 1 hour, and you are not even aware that this much of time, 4 to 5 hour of time, you have lost only on social media and mobile apps. So what he's saying that you have to keep the distraction tracker. You make there is a one Excel sheet, simple Excel sheet he is giving in the book. Every time you feel you become aware that you were distracted from your task, you note it down, what was the reason, what was the trigger, how much time you wasted. And if you do this exercise maybe for 7 to 10 days, you will realize that how much time you are wasting in digital distraction. And one more important thing, you will realize that rather than external distraction for which we blame all the digital apps, mobile, and whatnot, more than that, 90% of our distraction are internal. Whenever we are feeling emotionally uncomfortable with the task, we are not sure about the outcome, we ourselves are diving deep into giving into digital distraction, which is leading to further distraction. So giving this, following this kind of a tracker will let you know that how much of internal and external distractions are there in the life, and you can deal accordingly. If external distractions are there, there are some solution has been provided. Like one example he gave in his book for himself, what he's doing that on his Wi-Fi and internet, there is a tool, one technological tool which disconnects internet connectivity of all the devices after 9 o'clock in the evening. So by default, nobody is allowed to use internet. So he is getting quality time with family for 2 to 3 hours in the evening with wife, and his relation with wife and family improved a lot after that. So many such strategies have been given to avoid digital distraction. And yes, more important thing is internal distraction and mental distraction. So when we say the word distraction, he has explained this nicely in this book. When we are saying anything is distracting, it means away from the traction. So what is traction? Traction is the whatever you want to do, whatever efforts you are giving toward your intended outcome or intentional action. Anything which is distracting from your intentional action, that is called distraction. But you don't have even intention, or you have not created structured plan of the day, that how much of time you want to allocate for your work or personal relationship or health during the day, then anything can be distraction, because you are not having an intention or traction in your life. So first of all, to avoid internal or external distraction, what he is suggesting, that there should be intentional or structured day plan should be there, and then you label the things whether anything is causing distraction or you are going toward your intended action, which is called traction. And regularly evaluating your performance against your intended daily structured plan, which is the most important key takeaway which is given by the author. So I am trying to implement all those things, and I am successfully doing that. And something related to this kind of avoiding digital distraction, I also try to follow dopamine de-addiction kind of challenge, which I took up for 2 weeks, where I have to refrain from social media and digital streaming services for 2 weeks, which was, though it was boring and difficult, but it leads to better mental clarity and focus uh, on the priorities. So I would recommend, based on all this, I would recommend this book to all the professional people, parents, students, and anyone who is feeling overwhelmed by either digital distraction or multiple things to do in their life. This is book is giving practical, actionable strategies, and by applying this, I feel you will be more get more intentional time on your task you want to do, and you will be able to have fulfilling lifestyle. So with that, I will conclude my book review, and I will introduce our next speaker, Dr. Mary Thomas. So, Dr. Mary Thomas is also doctor by profession, and she is also avid reader, and that is why she was instrumental in building this club, which is book-based club, Page Trainer Advanced Toastmaster Club. And the next book she is going to review today is coming from her personal experience. Since last around 14 to 15 years, she is following this book uh, in her life, and it has helped a lot to herself and her patients to overcome disease and as a additional adjunct therapy. So over to you, Dr. Mary Thomas, for the next session.
Thank you very much, Book Reviewer 1 and President of the club, Dr. J. Sechpal. I am honored to be here to share this book called You Can Heal Your Life. I hope you can see this, right? I have a PPT presentation, but it's not working at the moment, so I will have to give you an oral discourse on the book. This is a book that has changed the lives of not only patients, but also the lives of doctors. Why do I say that? Because it has been proven that diseases, or shall I call it diseases, are actually the result of our emotional and mental state. How would you like to think about this? Have you noticed that when you're nervous, you start sweating, your heart starts palpitating, and then you feel queasy in your stomach? But what did you do? You didn't do anything. All you know in your mind and in your emotions is that you are going to deliver a speech, perhaps, and you got nervous. And you may be wondering, what's the connection? I'm just going to deliver a speech. Why am I sweating? Why is my heart beating fast? Why? Why are all these things happening? Now, by just looking at that, you would know that in any disease condition, there is a connection between the mind and the emotions. And this book talks about that in great detail. Right, let me get down to the book. There are 4 parts to this book. First, of course, the introduction. And of course, I must tell you about Louise Hay. Louise Hay is a renowned spiritual leader and personal development advocate. She is not anymore with us, but she has left an indelible mark in the world with her teachings and her philosophies and her ideas. She runs a very successful global program. I would say it's not just a program. She runs programs for self-development, for healing, for trauma, for you name it. And then it comes, of course, to diseases. Let's come to the book. This book has sold 50 million copies over the last 15 years. And I'm a big promoter of this book. The first part of the book is the introduction. And then the second part is a session with Louise, in the sense that she will put you through in the book, a session that you would have with her if you were with her in real. So that whole thing is about 3-4 chapters. After that, she talks about putting these ideas to work, and then there's a conclusion. The favorite part of my book, and the one that I always talk about, is part 3, putting these ideas to work. What does it talk about? It talks about relationships. These are the parts, right? There are 6 chapters, and it encompasses the whole of our life as an individual, as a human being on this planet. All right, we've got relationships, work, success, prosperity, the body. Of course, this book is more about healing diseases, so the focus is a lot on the body. When she talks about relationships, work, success, prosperity, of course, she talks on how you can heal that part. But I'm going to go into the part how you can heal your body by understanding how the emotions work on our body. In this book, we have about 100 pages of all the possible diseases human beings can have. Now, I'm going to just pick someone from the group here. Give me one disease that you may want to know how it's connected to your emotion. Anybody? And I'll tell you why.
Blood pressure.
Oh, great. Hypertension. Hypertension is...
Diabetes?
I'm sorry?
Diabetes, sugar?
Okay, I'll start with hypertension. Let me just look at it. Okay, it's all in alphabetical order. Hypertension. Actually, it's quite easy. Hypertension is it's actually she considers it as a blood disorder, as a result of which the pressure in the blood vessels increases. 1 second, please. There are hundreds of pages here. Okay, there we go. Hypertension is caused by long-standing emotional problems that are not resolved. I repeat that. Hypertension, meaning high blood pressure, is caused by long-standing emotional problems that are not resolved. Now, if you take a look at it, probably about 70% of the adults above 30, 40, or even 50 actually are hypertensive. It is such a pandemic. A lot of people are having elevated blood pressure. Now, don't you think this is possible? They have long-standing emotional problems that are not resolved. All right? Now, why does a person have low blood pressure, hypotension? Because this person lacked love as a child, feels defeated, thinking, what's the use? It won't work anyway. So if you're hypotensive, meaning your blood pressure is below 110/70 or 120/80 and is running around in the 90s/60s, then you should know and think back about your childhood where you felt that you were not loved as a child. There is a lot more to this. I mean, it's not as simple as what I'm reading out. Now, she also gives the solution for high blood pressure. You keep telling yourself that you joyously release the past. Keep telling yourself, I joyously release the past. I mean, this takes some bit of practice, because how often have we told ourselves that, oh, I'm joyous? No, we're always saying about things that are negative. So this is one of the things you can actually tell yourself, I joyously release the past. And I bet you, if you try doing that about for a week or two, please take your medication though, you will notice that your BP will be dropping, because it starts working. I mean, anybody wants, you can contact me. I'll teach you how to do this. And then if you have hypotensive, meaning low blood pressure, say to yourself, I now choose to live in the ever joyous now. My life is a joy. Now, there's another topic altogether where we are not even able to think that our life is a joy. Is there anybody here who thinks that their life is a joy? Wow, Hui-Chin, she thinks her life is a joy. Whoa, go, 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 go. Anybody? Whoa, Vinay. Okay, you think your life is a joy. That's so nice to see that. Ramesh, wonderful. All right. But how about the other 23 people in the room? Okay, Alvin, great. Manish, nice. Anyone else who thinks their life is a joy to behold? Okay, continue that. And the others, please start thinking that way. Find the little things that brought you joy in the past and be in that presence of that joy. I mean, you can't do that all the time. You can't be driving in a huge traffic jam and feeling that, this is life is a joy, you know. But you just fake it till you make it. All right. Now, someone asked about diabetes. Let me tell you about that one. Diabetes, I know, is a lack of sweetness in your life. That I have seen in patients. So what happens when there is a lack of sweetness, a lack of love, a lack of nice things happening in their lives? That's when more sugar keeps releasing, and then it becomes diabetes. Just give me a minute, please. Not a minute, a few seconds. Okay. There we go. Diabetes is caused by the emotion of longing for what might have been. Maybe you had a breakup. Another one that causes diabetes is a great need to control. Number 3, third reason, deep sorrow, unresolved loss, something that you lost in your life and you have deep sorrow about it. The next one, no sweetness left. There's no sweetness in your life, therefore glucose, sugar is being produced, and then there's insulin resistance and the sugar is not managed, and then that's what happens. All right, so how do you resolve this? You're supposed to tell yourself that you have moments in your life filled with joy. I now choose to experience the sweetness of life. All of these things, it's just as I'm just speaking, it's just about that. But there is a lot more deeper to it than just saying, you know, I have now the sweetness of joy and sweetness of life and all of that. Any one of you who would like to have further information on this, you're most welcome to WhatsApp me and I'll explain further to you. There are people I know who have used this, of course, together with therapy, together with Western medicine and therapy, who have actually come out of conditions even like cancer. Because I'll tell you a little bit about cancer. Cancer is the root cause of it. The emotion is unforgiveness. When someone cannot forgive another person, absolutely cannot, then it kind of festers in the cell and it becomes cancerous, malignant. It's a malignant idea that is stuck in the body that turns malignant or cancerous. Now, any other questions before I close? This is my all-time favorite book. I've helped patients and doctors are also using it. And doctors have actually said that it's in the book. 90% of the time when they use it, they have great success. Any questions before I close off? I hope you like my review and I hope you actually get the book. It's a very useful book. Any questions? Wow, all of you have a joy of life. Okay, all right, thank you. And I am going to introduce our next distinguished Toastmaster. Let me see. All right. Ramesh Chitumala is a renowned financial educator and founder of Money Maths, a pioneering financial education company dedicated to empowering individuals and companies in achieving financial abundance. With a vision to establish Money Maths as a global leader, Ramesh leverages his expertise to bridge the financial literacy gap. No wonder he said his life is full of joy. Prior to founding Money Maths, distinguished Toastmaster Ramesh accumulated 16 years of experience in pharmacy education and administration. A passionate advocate for effective communication, he is a distinguished Toastmaster, having achieved the prestigious Distinguished Toastmaster designation. Let's put our hands together and welcome Distinguished Toastmaster Ramesh, who's going to teach us how to make money. Money.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. J. Fellow Toastmasters and friends and dear guests who are non-Toastmasters. This is a wonderful intro, but to start with, why should I? Anybody can tell what is the book which I'm reviewing? I just want to be interactive. This session is cash flow quadrant. What are the problems we have in our lives? Can anybody tell? Because just now I have finished our offline session of Toastmasters today from our club and got into this one. And I just want to be interactive, whether it is 5 to 7 minutes book review or whatever it is. We have the problems, like as Dr. Mary said, that we have the problem of health, money, and the relationship problems. There are several spokes of the problems which usually the people faces. So how come I got into this financial education? Is because I myself got into financial problems when I was there in Germany. The recession hit. And 2009 is the time which I need to come back. At that point of time, I did not have any idea about what is money. I just wanted to make money by dollar exchange, or at that point of time, euro exchange, which we all usually do. So how many of you heard about Rich Dad, Poor Dad? Please raise your digital hands or this hand. Thank you very much. So that's where my financial education started. Back of my things, there are a lot of books from Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Robert Kiyosaki is my guru, which has laid me a purpose, because when I started researching into subject of money, the Rich Dad, Poor Dad was the first book which I read. From there, I got into several other books of Robert Kiyosaki. There is 7 years of research onto his own philosophy. And today I'm going to review the cash flow quadrant. We often hear that the world is, the rich people are getting richer and the poor people are getting poorer. Do you agree in your countries, respective countries? I do agree, my dear friends. So why is that? We rich people are getting richer and poor people are getting poorer. We find some answers in this cash flow quadrant. As the name of the book itself suggests, the whole financial world, according to Robert Kiyosaki, and I do endorse that the whole financial world is into 4 quadrants. Quadra is 4, and then quadrant is the people who make money for their living. It is from the 4 quadrants. So what are they? If somebody has read about this book, employees, self-employed, business, and investor quadrant. I'm going to show the picture at the green card of mine so that you are going to understand. So the people on the planet Earth are going to make money by doing these 4 activities. Employees who work for money. For example, I worked as a teacher, pharmacy teacher in a college, in a university, and then I've been like, for example, some software people work for some companies. So they make money, they work for money, what Robert Kiyosaki says. And then second part category is self-employed people who work for themselves. Can somebody tell in the chat, please mention that which category you belong to after I explain. Self-employed people are people who work for themselves, like for example, doctors who owns their own practice, and then chartered accountants or any business consultants, like I think so, coaches, trainers, or any company secretary who owns and who does, or for example, provisional stores. Some people have their provisional store. They are self-employed. So they have their own ways of making money. And then this is left side. What Robert Kiyosaki says is that employees and self-employed on the left side of the quadrant, it is 4 boxes, and then left side. So the other side of the coin, the other side of the quadrant is business and investor quadrant. When I started reading this one, business owners and investor quadrant on the right side, and self-employed who also owns a business on the left side, what makes the difference? Then from this book, I came to know that self-employed people are owning a self-employed business. In technical terms, they are nothing but proprietorship businesses. Or maybe that 2 to 3, 4 people come together and they start a small self-employed businesses. But what makes the business difference to that of self-employed business to that of the business what he is talking about? In layman terms, Robert Kiyosaki says that any business which is holding more than 500 employees is a business, actual business. Here, you are not working for yourself, but you are making other people to work for your dream or for your job or for your business. And investor quadrant. So what is investor quadrant? Because as employees and self-employed people also invest into different financial products, but how come that we are different from the other investors? This is what he makes the difference, that self-employed people or employed people are investing into products, financial products, which the business and investor people created for them. So let me show the graph. Sorry, the quadrant which I wanted to show. So it has got messed up. So no problem. Now, what is that I learned from here? What is the difference between employee, self-employed, and that of business investor quadrant is the level of financial education. The employees and self-employed, 95% of the people on the planet are on the left side of the quadrant, employees and self-employed. And the 5 to 10% in respective countries are only the 10% people who are wealthy. So he also mentions the difference between how come the employee self-employed are different from business and investor quadrant people is that the mindset, the security, because employed and self-employed people are very secured of their job. They want to have a job. They want to have a security for their life. And the business investor quadrant risk their money. So in this book, he has mentioned about things which are very important, which I felt that part 3, how to become a successful business and investor quadrant, which I'm going to read from. One is, it's time to mind your business, own business. You are going to start your own business, being an employee, make your investments work for you, and then you are going to start a business. Take control of your cash flow, which is very, very important, cash flow, and know the difference between risk and risky. The risk and risky difference is that risk is nowhere that until unless you have financial education. Know the difference between decide what kind of investor you want to be. There are levels of investors in the real world, which the people will be knowing after reading this book. Seek mentors who has gone to already to that place, and then make disappointment your strength. Don't be disappointed in the way of you becoming rich. So the power of faith. Have a faith in yourself. Have financial education for yourself. Now, I would like to tell my own story. I worked as a self-employed employee for a college. I started a franchise business 10 years back. Now I'm moving to business and investor quadrant with the help of this one, money maths, which is a financial education. I think I'm proposing something which is very unique for the world, financial spirituality. There is a lot of spirituality in the finance. This is what my learnings are from cash flow. Please, if at all, if you have any notes regarding the book or about money or anything, please contact.
I think he froze, isn't it?
Yeah, he froze.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's back.
Yes. Am I there? Is okay? I think I could see
Yes.
thumbs ups. Yeah. So the fourth book reviewer is Toastmaster Manish. Manish Rahetkar is a business leader. He loves to read. He is curious to learn more, explore topics which he doesn't know about. The book he is reviewing today comes from 20 plus years of practicing concepts in the book and sharing ideas with many students, friends, and family. For anyone, so thank you very much. Over to you, Toastmaster Manish.
Thank you. Am I audible, visible? Okay. Let me
Yes.
start with the book. This is the book. So it's been with me almost 22 plus years. So the first thing which I read about this book was some phenomenal concepts. So I will have split this book into 5 parts. The first thing which I learned out of this particular book is called as level 5 leadership. And what is meant by level 5 leadership? It is that person who is an unanimous leader filled with humility. So this person takes responsibility when things go wrong. He takes credit, or he gives his team the credit when things go right. And he is the most humble person. Any examples?
Abdul Kalam.
Abdul Kalam, phenomenal, fantastic. One more name, please.
Ratan Tata.
Ratan Tata, absolutely. Two of level 5 leaders in practice that we have seen. Right? Zero ego, only delivery. They solve problems as they come. So if you know level 5 leadership, if you don't find a leader who has any of these characteristics, you can fairly call him out saying you are not a level 5 leader. If one thing which you take out of this one book review, feel free to be a level 5 leader. Debit is mine, credit is yours. If I have to continue with DTM Ramesh's speech. If anything goes wrong, blame me. I will take ownership of it. If something goes right, and if you think you have taken some part in making it happen, credit is all yours. Let me move to the second point. When you create a team to to achieve a particular goal, what is the first thing that all of us do? You want to do a book building project. Fine. The first thing which Jim Collins says is find the people he describes it as if it is a bus which goes from Hyderabad to Shirdi. Okay, I mean, for all of us, it's probably London to Paris. And once you decide who the bus is, where you want to take the bus, then you decide who will be on the bus and why. So he decides who are the people who he needs in his team and what is the role of each person in this team. Once he gets you get the people on that bus, you don't interfere. You let the experts do their part. That is the most beautiful part of team building. You find the most interesting experts, get them onto your team and let them find the best solution what they can for the reason that you are trying to achieve. Point number 3. How many of us really accept when things don't go right? Very tough, right? I mean, that is where my blood pressure keeps going up. And till the time I didn't hear when what Dr. Mary Thomas said. Now I know when things don't go right, my blood pressure goes up. But what I have learned out of this particular book is face the brutal facts. See things as they are, not with your colored vision. If these things are good, they are good. If this is bad, it is bad. If a particular toilet is not clean, feel free to pick up at the janitor and tell the janitor this is not clean. And set your guidance or set your benchmark saying what is it that you define as best. There's another book, The Gold Standard by Joseph Michelli. Sometimes we can do one more book review for it. Okay, so face brutal facts. Whatever facts you know, accept. If things are not going right, take 100% ownership and go ahead and resolve it. One, that brings in humility. Second, it shows a commitment to the cause. Point number 4. Point number 4 is the hedgehog concept. How many of you are aware? Have you heard about a hedgehog? One. So hedgehog, 2. So hedgehog is a small animal. Can I just show you a picture? Let me know when you can see it.
Yes.
Are you able to see it? Yes.
Yes.
So this is a very cute animal called as the hedgehog. Now the beauty of this animal is it can only do one thing, which is whenever it is threatened, it will turn to go curl itself so that the spikes fall apart, comes away and it covers its entire inner body. Now, this is the concept which it comes out, which the author talks about 3 different distinct things. 1, what are you deeply passionate about? What is your purpose? Second, what drives your economic engine? And third, what can you be the best at in the world? Now, these are 3 questions which everybody needs to ask. And once you start asking these questions, my life changed because then I knew what I was producing and what people liked. If any one of you have ever visited 100-year-old sweet shops, if anybody comes from Delhi or Gujarat or Maharashtra, you will see there are or G. Pulla Reddy in Hyderabad. For 50, 60 years is just doing the same thing. They have perfected that one particular thing. They have not moved into some different areas and they hold on to their key strength. Last part is the dual concept of a flywheel and a doom loop. You know what is a flywheel and a doom loop? Okay, let me also again explain this for all of you. This is a flywheel. Take the example of when you are flying the kite. When this part of the kite, not the tail, the head part, if you want to take the kite higher, you have to pull the string when the head part is up, and at that point, any amount of push that you give, it will only push the kite higher. And on the other hand, this is a doom's loop. When the head of the kite is at the bottom, even if you pull it, it will just go spiraling down. Now, this is a beautiful concept. When you are in a career, you will always have ups and downs. So when you know that you are at the going down, you should will focus on how will you go up. And when you are going up, make sure that you keep going up. This is, my friends, my review of the book Good to Great. Hope you learned something new, and thank you very much. Now let me introduce the next speaker. And the next speaker, the book reviewer, is Peter Tham. Peter is a highly accomplished lecturer, trainer, and an exec coach with over 30 years of corporate and training experience. Peter's extensive experience in the corporate world has equipped him with a comprehensive skill set that he leverages to empower individuals and organizations to achieve their goals. Today, we are lucky to have him review his own book, The Success Triangle. Over to you, Peter.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Right. So thank you for Manish for introducing me to this book. So today I'm going to review my own book, The Success Triangle. I wrote this book. I started writing this book about 2 years ago, and I completed it early this year and published it. It's now available online. So why do I write this book? First of all, I write this book is more for my children. I got two children, a son, 23 years old, and a daughter, 21. And nowadays, they do not read books. And I know that leaders are readers. And I grew up reading a lot of books that have helped me in my life. Books that some of you are reading today, like 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Good to Great, See You at the Top, Think and Grow Rich, How to Win Friends and Influence People, and a myriad more. So I'm appalled that my children do not read a book. And then the other thing is, I have, over the course of my life, looked at successful people in all areas of their life, personal, as well as career, professional and personal, family, marriage, and so on. And I find that success can be distilled into 3 elements. And I call that the success triangle. And so that, and although it's common sense once you know it, but sometimes common sense are not really common. So that's the 2 purpose why I write this book. Is to leave a legacy behind. I'm 61 this year, and I know when I leave this planet, there's something I can leave behind. And the other thing is, if there's something, my children will not throw away my book. They will definitely read my book. At least I believe they will. So, and so what is this book about? So there are a number of people have reviewed my book, and I would like to use Wendy Tan, who is the CEO of Success Group Success Resources, who brings Money and You program to Malaysia, and also the CEO of an engineering firm. He says that this book is a transformative guide that distills success into 3 pivotal elements. And basically, they are internal communication, external communication, and technical knowledge. So basically, only 3 elements in life to be successful in anything. And so whether you are looking for success in any areas of your life, mastering these 3 elements is the key to success. So, but before I go into even talking about finding success, what is one of the most important things? Many people, when they think about success, they think about wealth. They think about making money, climbing up the corporate ladder, building a $1 billion business. Yeah. But health is really wealth. And that is the first thing I want to put in the first chapter itself. You may not value your health until you lose it. And it is an irony when people in the first half of their life spend their entire life and effort trying to make wealth, only to return back the wealth or to give back the wealth to chase back for the health that they lose. And you will lose, and you will believe me, you will really regret it if you do not take care of your health. And I realized that on 9 November 2019. On 9 December 2019, I got a stroke. And if you can see from the PowerPoint here, my reading was 205/116, and I was immediately wheeled into the CCU in Pantai Hospital in Malaysia. And I was miserable. I was tied to the bed, and I couldn't even move. That was a selfie that I took. And if you bring $1 million right in front of me and you give me cash, it means nothing to me. All I want is just the movement of my hand and the movement of my leg. And fortunately, I was introduced to a very good physiotherapist from India with a master in neurology, very unconventional way of physiotherapy. And within 2 months, I got back my movement. And today, once I got it back, you think, what is my life about? Making more wealth? No. So, and that brings into the third chapter of my book. Success is only success if you know where you're going. And Mark Twain says there are 2 most important days in your life: the day you're born and the day you find out why. So 2 very important. Have you found out why? What is your life purpose? Then once you know that and you move towards that, that is success. And then mastering the 3 elements is the tool to achieve that success. But first, you must define success. So, and the other thing is most people want results. And when they want results, they take action. For example, you want to lose weight. And so you will go to the gym and you will eat healthy. But how long can you do that? You will give up. Why? Because it is difficult. But the key to success is deeper than that. It comes from your mindset, and at the end of the day, is your belief system. There's a known author that says, change your belief, change your destiny. And there is a book called As a Man Thinketh. And in the Bible, it says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So our belief system is very, very powerful. You become what you believe. And so this book as well has tools that help you to exercises in the book that help you to define clarity in life, your purpose in life, and also your belief system, and work towards that. And other chapters of the book will be the second element, external communication. That's how you build. You have to work with people, communicate, and that's why people join Toastmasters as well. And marriage and family is very, very important. Mastering your spouse love language so you have a good marriage life. And the third element, where we always go for our education, 20 over years of our life, is on technical knowledge, whether we study medicine, engineering, law, or accountancy. But what good is it if we are technically sound if you cannot master the little voice in your head and also how to communicate your ideas successfully to others? So in conclusion, the success triangle consists of 3 elements. Technical knowledge is only 20%. The other 2, internal communication, external communication, you do not study that in your tertiary education or in your academic world, but that is the most important. And that leads to also my Toastmaster speech, why. So you can go to YouTube, look for Why by Peter Tam, and this is where I really share my belief, and surprisingly, I went all the way to the division level. So in conclusion, that I will put this link in the book for those of you who want to get this book. You can get this book online, and or if you see me personally, we go for a drink, I can pass you the book as well. Thank you very much. And to you, this is just another self-help book. So it's a book that give you practical advice, wisdom, and personal stories from my life. Thank you over to you. Now, let me introduce the next speaker. Let me stop sharing. The next speaker is Bakash. Bakash is a project manager who loves to explore new things by reading books and meeting like-minded people. And today, he will be reviewing the book Italy, Orchid, and Willpower by the author Walter V. Kamat. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Over to you, Bakash.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Peter, for that introduction. Let me correct you. My name is Bhaskar. No problem. Okay. So as Peter mentioned, the book, what I'm going to review is Italy, Orchid, and Willpower. This is a story about a person who used to own a small restaurant business. And with all his efforts, he went on to own a 5-star hotel. This book is available in 14 languages. I have collected few important nuggets from this book. First of all, taking risk. The author took a calculated risk. We all need to take calculated risk to get success, to achieve success in our life, and also in business. So the author took this risk of purchasing a poorly managed hotel. And with all his efforts, he built it into a good hotel. So what efforts he did? He changed the menu, improved the quality of the food. He served variety of menus to people. He also created a play area for children so that children can play in that area. This increased the customers and sales. The second point is trust. To achieve anything big, we need to trust. We need to trust customers. We need to trust people. So the author trusted his instincts, and he believed that going forward, he will be an owner of the star hotel, what he dreamt of. Now, he trusted his employees. He provided good food for them. He provided good shelter and clothing for them so that they can do their job with the satisfaction, which in turn grows the hotel and brings the profit. The third point is tough times. There was a point where the hotel was not running in profits. The bankers and lenders were asking money, but the author was not in a position to pay back the money. So indeed, he wanted to commit suicide. He goes to a 20th floor of the building. And when he was about to jump, he sees something interesting, which opened his mind. What he saw was on the opposite side of the building, where a painter was painting the building with the help of a rope. Author thought to himself that how scary it is, how scary that if the rope cuts and the painter falls, then he may die. But still, the painter has a courage to go and do his work. This motivates the author. He don't want to commit suicide, and he goes back to hotel and works hard. He changes the menu, changes the look and feel of the restaurant, and then customers started increasing. Other point is thinking out of box. In the initial phase of the restaurant, where the customers are minimal or in fact zero, the author thought, what can I do to bring back the customers, to increase the number of customers? Thinking out of box, he calls to his friends and asks them to come with their families in the cars and park their car in front of the restaurant and have food for free. To outsiders, what it looked like, oh, this restaurant is filled with people. We might get good food here. And with this thought, the customers increased. So these are the 4 points which I like from this book. What I learned personally and I've implemented from this book are taking courageous actions will lead to success. Also, you need to think out of box if any challenges encounter. I recommend this book to the people who want to do big but are stuck because of XYZ reasons. It definitely motivates you. That's all. Thank you so much. So let me introduce the next speaker, Hoshi. Hoshi is a teacher, trainer, and a mother of 3. Also an active Toastmaster. She has an experience of 18 years as a teacher. She always asks students to take notes on important points. And the book she will be reviewing is Notebooks Can Be Used This Way. Thank you so much. Over to you, Shin.
Thank you, Bhaskar, for introducing me. And now we'll share my screen. Good afternoon, good evening to everyone all around the world. Today, I'm going to review a book which is written in Chinese. This is the book. In translation, we can say, actually, notebook can be used this way. This is a book written by Toastmasters, Mr. Yak, who is in Singapore, District 80. He's the founder of House of Planners, and he has been in the business for more than half a century. And he is more than 30 years experienced in notebook and also planner industry. Why did he write this book? I'll share with you later. And I have been the MC of the book sharing session of his book, and also I experienced firsthand what are things in the book that we can actually do it in our daily lives. This is another author who is his son, his second son, and he is also experienced in the notebook and planner industry together with him. Well, in this book, just now, we actually listened to 6 very good books. And of course, taking notes is always what we do when we listen to someone. And also sometimes when we read, there'll be notes for us to take down in the book itself or sometimes in another notebook. So notebook and journaling, they are actually very similar. So in this book, there are 3 main parts, which is the first part, it talks about the culture of journaling from hundreds of years ago from Leonardo da Vinci and also Isaac Newton. They are starting from thoughts to words and put them down in the record that can be passed down forever. So in this book, they talk about this, which is journaling 1.0. Until today, actually, Mr. Yak, he thinks that it actually evolved from 1.0 to 4.0, according to his definition in the book. Second chapter is about the mindset of journaling. Why do we need to write them down? Sometimes when we say that, okay, let me write down in a notebook, and even when we open a physical notebook, people will say, are you sure about it? We are using phone now. We are using laptop now. This is so old-fashioned. My first thought when he introduced me the book and also the tools that come together, my thought was the same. Oh, is there anyone still using physical notebook now? Stop kidding me. But the more I read, the more I'm indulged in this book and journaling. And third chapter in the book, it talks about the action. So this is actually a book which comprises the experience and the way distinguished Toastmaster Yak from Singapore, how he did his journaling and recording notebook in 30 years. He even showed us his notebook from 1988. Some of us here might not have even been born that time. And the journey is very, very interesting. So why I was indulged and why was I attracted to the book and this journey itself? First of all, when we talk about mind, one of the reasons why, because I'm a teacher, I'm very practical. I want my students to take down the notes. Why? Whenever things are important, it is very important for us to write them down, look at it again, review, revise, and study it again. That's how we prepare for our exams, isn't it? So when we have a lot of thoughts in our mind, for example, I listened to 6 books just now, and they are all golden nuggets somewhere. So if I do not take it down when I hear it, it will be gone directly. So when we have a lot of things in our mind, we need something to clarify it, to make it into the words and pictures that we understand. So this is why we have the 3Z system, which was interpreted in our in the book itself, in the second chapter. So there are a lot of time when we want to do something, the heart wants to do it, and the brain says, just do it. I'm one of that type of person. People who know me, they know that when I want to do something, I will be very eager to do it, and then I will take action, which might not be successful in the end of the day. So implementing without pondering or a plan, so it is from goal and then straight away to action. But if I have a tool to write down things that I want to do, then it might be different. From my heart, I have an idea, the goal. Then I can start ponder, which is the calm stage. And then I go into the planning and implementation stage itself. So how does it help me? Actually, which comes together with the book itself, are the tools that is designed by them in the company. So I actually wrote them down in this planner. That's one thing. And the way we use it is like, do you keep records of your past years or this planning? Sincerely, I don't. I'll just throw them, or I just keep it somewhere. I'll never look at it again. However, with their way, because everything, you can just take them out and then put it back, rearrange it the way you want it. So it is very convenient for me to look at what I have done in the past and what I will do in the future to do the planning. Of course, there is also one big page of planning, which is very interesting. And these are the things that we can also in our phone or our electronic devices. Nothing special. The special part, I would say, is the journaling part. The journaling part, he only needs a pen and a piece of paper. And he can ask us to start writing down, because I went to the workshop complementing the book itself. So we actually wrote down what are the things that we want to be grateful for. It can be very simple. And the moment you wrote it down, you feel that, oh, there's a relief. Just now, Dr. Mary talked about you can heal your life. And things that are in our head, if we don't really visualize it, it's impossible for us to rethink and reconcile. So this is one of the way. And of course, different ways of doing it. And when you look at it, it is so fulfilling. And of course, there are also ways for us to know ourselves, to draw a picture of our life. And of course, lately, all these awards and also evaluation form, I keep it in the journal itself. And this is the journey of my 2024, which can be recorded, saved, reviewed, and also continue and replan. So I share this book with all of you. Hopefully there will be English version soon, but the workshop, it can be conducted in English. So I look forward to sharing more of all these with you. Thank you. Next, I would like to invite the next book reviewer, Lakshmi. She is an entrepreneur running a software startup, and today she is going to tell us the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. Lakshmi, the stage is yours.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Hui. As Hui said, I'm sorry if I'm wrongly pronouncing your name. Today, the book review is The 7 Habits of Effectively. I think you are able to see my book. Okay, I think it's not visible. Fine. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. Good evening, everyone. Today, I'm excited to present one of my all-time favorite book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. Before we dive in, how many of you have read or is aware of this book? Great. Wow. Looks like many of you are familiar with it. I feel the same. It's my go-to whenever I need a lift. Trust me, this isn't just a one-time read. It's a timeless booster filled with valuable wisdom. This book is a powerful guide to becoming more effective in our personal and professional lives by aligning actions with core principles. Let's dive into these habits and I'll ask you your thoughts along the way. Be proactive. The first habit is about taking responsibility for your actions. For instance, think of a time when things don't go as planned, maybe at work or in our professional life. How did you react? Example, imagine you are stuck in a traffic and running late to your meeting. A reactive person might get frustrated and blame the traffic, but the proactive person might use the time to make important calls or mentally prepare for the meeting. I would ask the audience, can anyone share a suitable situation when you have been using this proactive chances and had any overcome of it? Okay, you can also type it in the chat box if you remember anything. Let's go to the second point, being with the end in mind. This habit is all about visualizing your goals and working backward to make surely your actions align with your long-term vision. Example, pictures planning a vacation. If you don't know where you are planning to go, how will you plan your route or your itinerary? Similarly, if we don't know what kind of person or professional we wanted to be in the long term, our daily decisions might lack directions. Is there any thought for your future plans for any 5 to 10 years from audience? I think everyone are calm, maybe tired or whatever. Okay, let me go to the next point, that is put first thing first. Kaveh talks about focusing on what's truly important rather than just what's urgent. This habit is about prioritizing wisely. For example, we spend a lot of time in emailing or handling minor tasks instead of working on the important projects that move us forward. Kaveh encourages us to prioritize those high impact activities. Next point is think win-win. This habit focuses on creating mutually beneficial solutions in relationship, whether at work or in personal life. Kaveh emphasizes the power of collaboration and trust building. For example, in a negotiation, instead of fighting for a bigger slice of piece, think of the way to grow the pie so everyone wins. When both sides feel satisfied, trust and cooperation grows. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Effective communication starts with listening. Kaveh says that we should first understand others before expecting them to understand us. In the example, in a hatred argument, most of the people focus on defending their own point rather than truly listening to the other person. Kaveh says that be listening first. First you listen. We foster trust and better understand that what exactly the situation or the point is. The sixth habit that Kaveh explains is about synergize. Synergy means the teamwork produce better results than individual efforts. Example, think of a time when a group project at work or school yield a better result than you would have done lonely. When people with different strengths come together and combined efforts often surprise individual contribution. The last point that is sharpen the saw. Kaveh final habit is about self-renewal. He stresses the importance of continuous improvement in 4 areas, that is physical, mental, emotional, social, and spiritual. Example, imagine a woodcutter who is too busy cutting down the tree to sharpen his saw. Over a time, his efficiency drops. Likewise, if we don't take time for rest, learning, and self-care, we become less effective in our personal or professional lives. Now, let me ask a last question. Who is the leader you admire, and how do you then take that as an example? At least answer this one question of mine.
The leader I admire is Robert Kiyosaki.
Okay.
You mean to ask a political leader, or is that any person whom we admire?
Whom you admire the most? Okay. Are you typing in the chat? In the meantime, let me conclude it. To conclude, Kaveh says The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People provides a timeless guide to achieving meaningful success by adopting these habits. It's about making conscious choices, building strong relationship, and continuous improvement of ourselves. I hope these ideas inspire you to reflect on how these habits can be applied in our own life. Thank you for your attention. And I'd love to hear if any thoughts or questions you might have, provided I have some time to answer your questions. Okay, let me quickly introduce to the next Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Vinay. Vinay, let me briefly introduce about Vinay. Vinay is a PE investor, having worked in IT for closely 2 decades. Resigned in August 2020 after achieving financial freedom. Currently, he is a full-time investor into equity market, both public and private equity. Loves reading business, economics, and finance. Over to you, Vinay. Vinay is going to have a book review in Sapiens. Correct me if I'm wrong. Sapiens. Over to you, Vinay.
Thank you, Lakshmi. Am I audible and visible?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Lakshmi, for this wonderful introduction. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning to everyone from wherever you are. Today, I'm going to review the book called Sapiens. I hope all of you can see it. The author is Yuval Noah Harari. He's a renowned author, very, very intellectual person, very renowned person. And he is a professor in Hebrew University in Israel, Jerusalem. And this book, they have sold close to 50 million copies so far. Maybe more, I don't know. The latest figure says that 50 million copies, that is 6 months back. So I would urge everyone to read this book to understand how the humanity works. Okay, so the book, as you know the title, it says the brief history of humankind. It talks about the entire history or the journey of the humankind, how we have navigated from chimpanzee to apes to Neanderthals, and then the Stone Age. Then we transform to the agricultural age, and then we have this industrial revolution, the technology. Now we are so-called AI or artificial intelligence revolution. So it talks about the entire span of the history, how the humanity has progressed and they have navigated throughout this journey. And briefly, if I talk in my way, if I summarize it, the title would be Why Humans Run This World. Why not any other animals they control this planet? Why only the humans or we control this planet? That is the title. Why? If you look at the history, 70, 80,000 years ago, when the cognitive revolution started, humans got that intelligence, when the language developed. Prior to that, humans didn't have the language. So 70, 80,000 years back, humans developed this cognitive intelligence and they started using the language. From there, now, how we have transformed ourselves. Earlier, humans were considered as insignificant animals. So our impact was nothing more or nothing less than any other animals. We used to be like at par with any other animals like elephant, dogs, chimpanzee, or Godzillas, whatever they call it, dinosaurs and all. We are equally at par with them. Even if we wish to live like animals. We used to live like a hunter-gatherer, stay together, we used to do that. How come we have transformed from there to here? Now we are the dominant species in this planet. We control the planet. So that is the question mark that he tried to resolve it in this book. And he says that there is a comparison between, if we do the comparison between other animals and us human beings, all the other animals, they live at an individual level. When I say individual, they don't have that capability to cooperate in a large scale and they are not flexible. But whereas human beings, he says that we control the planet or we rule the planet because we can cooperate individually with each other in a large scale with strangers. See, most of us don't know me. I don't know any of you. But still, I'm here sitting in India, somewhere in Hyderabad. I can talk to all of you. Someone in Philippines, someone in Malaysia, someone in Hyderabad, someone in somewhere else. I don't know any one of us. That is the beauty of humanity. We are strangers, still we can interact with each other. This cannot happen with any other animals. They can cooperate, like ants and bees, you can see they can cooperate, they can large number, but they're not flexible. And also there are other mammals like dolphins, hyenas, or the elephants or the chimpanzees. They're flexible, but they cannot cooperate in a large scale because their relationship is very rigid. Either they have to know each other, like the street dogs. One street dog cannot mingle with another street dog, but we can mingle, right? So that is the beauty of humanity, why we control the planet, because we are the only animals in this planet who can cooperate in a large scale. And we are very flexible. If something happens, we can reinvent ourselves. We can reconstruct our social system. Animals cannot do that because their function is very rigid and they can work in a certain way. That is what he was talking about, why we rule this planet. And the question he says that there is certain way why we do that. Why can't other animals, they cannot cooperate? Why only human beings are able to cooperate with countless of strangers? Countless of strangers. Only thing is, it is our ability to imagine. It is our imagination that enables us, lonely animals in this planet, who can cooperate in a large scale. And how? When we imagine, we create and believe the stories. We create stories. And as long as we create and believe the stories, every one of us believe in that stories, we follow the same rules, then it actually works. That enables us to cooperate with each other. Just think about this meeting. We follow the same norms and regulations. We trust each other. Same story, Toastmasters story, 5-minute story, we are able to cooperate. We have a red card, green card, everything, we are able to cooperate. Complete strangers. We are able to do that. It's just a story, it's a fiction story. Toastmaster is not an objective reality. But we can do that. That is how the power of humans. We create stories and believe in that stories, and then we work with that framework. For example, you can say, right, God. God is what? It's not an objective reality. You can't see it, you can't drink it, you can't touch it, but still everyone believes in the God. That is how all the religions are formed. Same way the corporates. He talks about the corporates too. How the corporates are, they are all their fictional entities. And the money also, corporate is what they print money, they work for the money. All those things are fictional entities because these are not objective reality. All these things, what we created as a story, and we believe each other. And that belief system is strong, so strong that we work together, we cooperate together. Everyone believes in the money. Most of the people believes in this God, religion. Most of the people believe in this legal system. All these are not objective reality. So finally, what he concluded is that between other animals and human beings, he calls human beings also as animals, but when you compare with other animals, they live in an objective reality. That means their reality consists of mountains, rivers, trees, elephant, dolphins. All are objective reality. In our world too, we have this objective reality. But what he is saying, over the century on this objective reality, we created a second layer of reality called a fictional reality. And that fictional reality is like God, corporate, nations. Even the nations are also not fixed, it's objective reality. These are fictional reality. Nation, you can't touch it, you can't see it. These are all the stories that we have created and we have extremely attached to our nations. So over the top of this objective reality, we have created another layer of reality. And what he says that, what amazes him that over the century, when the history is unfolding, these fictional entities like corporates, Google, Microsoft, United States, World Bank, Asian Bank, they have become so powerful. They are not objective reality. This is the story or entity that we humans created. And he says these are so powerful that now all the objective entities that we see in this world, like river, mountains, all the animals, very survival of those entities are dependent on these fictional entities. And these fictional entities is nothing but we humans have created only in our imagination. So that's it from my side. And this book is basically how it helped me. I'll just summarize. It makes me actually wiser, and intellectually it make me like little bit wiser, and it has changed the way I look at the humanity, the way we have evolved over the years. And it is basically, I would recommend everyone, little bit you need to be philosophical, and if you are intellectually, if you want, then I think it is very very readable book. I would recommend everyone to read this book so that you will understand how the society functions. It gives a different insight, different perspective. Thank you so much. And I would end my book review. And then I like to introduce number 10, Toastmaster. I'm very excited to introduce Samuel. It's actually, I was in a hurry to finish my speech so that I can introduce Samuel. It's very lovely. Just listen. Samuel works as a financial advisor. He's a professional. He is very much interested in screwing up the things. Not interested, that is his profession. He's 2 years old in Toastmasters and currently still continue to screw up. And he's in the learning process and he's also in the progress of learning. And his quote, very beautiful quote, I love this. Every hero, he says, every hero was a zero or a disaster once upon a time. And here is his journey towards hero. Over to you, Samuel. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Veena. Such a lovely introduction. Okay, first of all, I want to thank for Dr. Mary's to organize these book clubs. Without this book club, I have never have a single thought to read this fantastic book again, which is the book called Principles, wrote by Ray Dalio. So what's so special about these books and this author? Let me paint you a picture about Ray Dalio. Ray Dalio is a fund manager, which is Bridgewater. If people don't know about Bridgewater, you just can consider it as a fund managers. Whatever our investment, our money should go to the fund managers. So fund managers will invest our money to someone else. And he's a very young, elite fund manager. He's have a very good success in age 26, which is he earned his $1 million during 1975. Millionaire in 1975 is really something. And recently, what his success is, bigger success is, he's top 10 fund manager in the world. And what in the between in his journey is, during because his success is very early, so he's growing up in early of his 30 years old. And because of his ego, and he tends to make a wrong decision backing sideways with the market. That's why he caused a very big failures. And how long it takes to get back to the markets for him to stand up, it took him 10 years. That's why these 10 years, he wrote this book, A Principle. So in these principles, right, it only have 5 points, which is valuable in not just for the investment part. In your personal life, it also helps. So the first point is learning from the mistakes. So humbling experience, so he screwed up in his early 30s, have a, what should I say? You never make a error twice, because if you really have a review on yourself, then you will know what you make a mistake, then you will have a slightly small adjustment. Secondly, is creating a principle based on the systems. By writing down the principle based on your decision, remove your emotional bias. Everything judged based on facts, not our emotions. The system became cornerstone for his company, and transparency, accountability, and clear thinkings. Thirdly, radical transparency and openness. Because in our Asians, right, we have a manager or team leaders in our tops, right, we don't dare to report true facts and problem to our managers, or we put ourselves in the manager levels, right? It's very hard for us to listen the true message from the bottom, because our Asian not trained to make mistakes. But as a fund manager or as a leader or as a boss, if you don't have receive the true feedbacks, you will never fix the errors within it. So that's why he encouraged all the employees and his partner and peers are giving a very true transparency mistakes, and mistakes are allowed and forgiveness. And fourth, data-driven decision makings. Relying on data on research eliminate the human errors. And for his company, unique investment models, right, risk management strategy is really important. Without risk management, nothing will go accordingly to what he wants. And fifth, focus on diversification, just like our Toastmaster meeting. Because when we conducting meetings, right, sometimes we engage with many role players, but some of the role players couldn't make it. So we wouldn't put one hope in one role players. That's why we will find different multiple role players for a standby. Same goes to your investment as well. You won't put all your money into one basket, so you will tend to diversify for different, in case this investment fail, and you have the other one who help you to neutralize the risk. Through these consistent reflections, right, disciplines of plannings and structures, decision makings, Ray Dalio do rebuild his portfolio and stand up in the top 10 positions. And from these books, right, what I can learn is I implanted 2 messages in my life. The first thing, if you realize one thing is not many people know how to make decisions, especially they say, oh, Samuel, sorry, I have a decision difficulties. It's hard for me to make decisions. I found a solution from this book. Set your own rules at first. People don't know what they want, but people always know what they don't want. Let's say if I were a vegetarian, you propose me Kentucky Fried Chicken. So definitely the answer is straightforward. I already set my rules. I'm a vegetarian. I won't eat chickens. So that's why you will know how to make decisions. Same goes to your life, investment, business, and your career. So you set your own rules, which one you don't want and which one you want. If you don't know what you want, then you just leave it. Step aside what you don't want. What you want. You instead focus on what you don't want. Then from there, slowly stretch a little bit. Learn from the message and the info. You face it. And secondly, the message, I think, is very close into the other authors. T. Harv Eker. Always fire, ready, and aim. People tend to like to ready, aim, but you not intend to fire. It's such a waste. So try to make as many the mistakes as possible. Just like me, like to screwing up. You screw up the most from the journey of screwing up, then you make your review on yourself. From there, you only know where you should aim. Then to resonate back to Toastmasters, I like the ideas of Toastmasters of this is the platform for you to fail safely, and the community are willing to give you an evaluations. From there, that's the feedbacks for everyone. And to sum up the whole things, right, for me to become a champion, it's not about how good you were or how hard work you are. It's just about can you stay alive in this game. As long as you can stay alive in this game, then you have a chance to become a winner or the champion or the goal that you want to hit. But last and not least, I would like to wrap up some questions for the audience. If giving a doctor who screwed up 100 times in his surgery still become a professional today, or a doctor who never make a mistake and still become professional today, these two doctors, which doctor are more convincing towards you guys? So my speech until here, I pass back to Toastmaster of the day. Thank you so much.
Really, thank you. So yeah, it was I think really great meeting overall, and it was literally kind of 100 minutes of turning pages, and not worth of 100 minutes, maybe I think thousands minute of worth of turning pages we gone through to in today's meeting of 100 minutes. And yeah, I think the person what as a person we entered the meeting, we are leaving the meeting much wiser, and not only that, I think we are living with much more many more recommendation, and new year is coming soon. So in as a part of my new year resolution, I have added lot of the books in my to read list. So yeah, this was a really great meeting. And before that we close, like I was having a two small request. One is that we can keep a camera on, all of us possible, and can have a photo. And then I would like to take a short poll over today's meeting, like in today's
Yeah.
meeting. Yeah.
Dr.
So
Jay,
let
we are
us.
mandating to open their faces, if at all, if it is not uncomfortable for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if it is convenient, you can
Yes.
show show your video, and we can have a screenshot, and which I'll be sharing with the group and all the guest members also. So
Yeah.
yeah, let me take a photograph. 3, 2, 1.
Are we
Yes.
done? Okay.
Yes, that. Thank you. And yeah, before we leave, I'll be just give me a minute. I'll be sharing the screenshot with the inside the chat here, and let us run a short poll. So, like as a next few meeting, I would like to ask audience, which out of this 10 books, which book you would like to have. So are you able to see the poll live?
Yes.
So
But there
yeah,
are no books. What are the books?
so are you able to see the list or not?
No.
No list,
I-
but we can see the question.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
okay. Sorry. Let me try it again.
I think we can share meanwhile the one
Yeah,
list
yeah.
group, one group which is
Are you able to see here now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can vote for which book you would like to have a detailed review in some of the upcoming meetings. So it will guide us to have a to include.
మరి నేను చెప్పిన లిస్ట్ రాసుకొని కాకరపురలు ఎక్కువ అనిపిస్తానే.
So tell me if you when once you're done.
How do we click this? I'm not able to click. I mean, how do we
poll? Because there is no such a mechanism here.
No, there is a
Yeah.
submit button. There is a submit button down below. Select and submit.
You have
I
to
did it.
scroll down. Yeah.
I did it. Mine is done.
No,
Okay.
mine only says end the poll.
End poll.
Okay,
Me too.
okay. You
I
are
think we are.
oh, you are co-host. That is why. Okay, okay.
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 So I need to remove all of you as co-host if you want to vote.
అదే కానీ ఇప్పుడు ఒకసారి వీడియో తీసి పెట్టమని ఇక్కడ జమాయించిందని అన్నావు అది నేను
Now are you able to see?
Yes.
సరే కానీ నువ్వు మరి ఇక్కడ వేయించుకో 3 టన్నులే అంటున్నావు కదా.
Can't see at all.
No, even I can't see it. This is Bhaskar.
Oh, I removed as a co-host now. You can see. Okay, no problem. I think Let
I
me
would
end the
think
volume.
I would think that everyone would want all the books another round of review. I mean, some of the books are so good.
Yeah.
Samuel's
So,
book is good. I like your book, Sapiens. Yeah.
Dr. Mary, I have a proposal here.
Yeah.
If it is okay, then we can create a group so that the people who want to listen or who want to present in the future, we have only the group one, which is the 10 book reviewers right now. Is it okay to continue the